Well, ladies and gentlemen, the search for the new manager continues and enters Maurizio Pochettino.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Oh, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the latest in all of Chelsea news. Sorry, I was unable to do a live stream earlier today. To be honest, there wasn't much going on at the moment, and I was feeling a little bit tired as well. To everyone that's celebrating Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you guys. I'm actually doing my Eid tomorrow. We haven't sighted the moon here in Sydney, Australia, so we're doing it tomorrow. So Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you guys. But yeah, let's talk about Mauricio Pochettino. To all the Pochettino fans out there, I'm sure you guys are going to be very, very happy. Fabrizio Romano states Chelsea have also contacted Mauricio Pochettino in the last few days. It's the first direct approach after last summer when he was in the list. Nothing advanced yet. Nagelsmann remains favourite. Talks will continue as Chelsea want to be 100% sure of their choice. Now, what do I say about Mauricio Pochettino? I wasn't a massive fan of Pochettino being one of the contenders to take up the Chelsea job. Look, got nothing against his managerial credentials and what he's achieved in his managerial tenure, especially Spurs. He made Spurs relevant. Let's be honest. If people remember Spurs prior to Pochettino, they were a shambles, absolute shambles, and he actually made them relevant and made them into a team that was consistently vying for top four position. Now, one thing I will say, I mean, look, PSG, I don't want to count PSG too much. Yes, some will say that he failed over there. I personally think he failed as well. But lots of managers fail there. It's not a very good institution to put down a marker as to whether you're a great manager or not. Many managers over there don't tend to do well. The politics that's around that particular club is quite toxic. I want to focus mostly on his time at Spurs and obviously his time at Southampton as well. Prior to that, Espanyol. Southampton, he was doing very, very good. Southampton were playing some fantastic football under Mauricio Pochettino, and he unearthed some really, really good talent, which ended up going to, Liverpool. They ended up becoming Liverpool's feeder club. And then he comes to Spurs, and he has developed some amazing players that were playing some really, really good football, pressed well. I still remember there was a couple of times where I watched Spurs versus Man City, and they would eat Man City up. This was early days Pep Guardiola, and you could see players like Dele Alli, Harry Kane, and many more. They were just rising under him. The one thing I do want to say about Pochettino is whenever it came to the crunch time, whenever it came to winning something, he faltered. He faltered. There were several times he faltered against us, whether it be FA Cup semi-finals or Carabao Cup quarterfinals, semi-finals, whatever the case is, and even trying to win the Premier League, where they got defeated by Leicester. And also, I know Arsenal was there, but we put the dagger in them. If you guys remember, Eden Hazard with that goal. So whenever it was the crunch moment, and let's not forget, obviously, the Champions League final. But of course, people will say, what about, en route to that Champions League final, how they came back against Ajax and the madness they did against Man City, this, that, the other. No problems. But there was no fight in the final. So this is what I'm worried about. A lot of people are getting very excited that Mauricio Pochettino is someone, who's going to be very good in terms of man management, and he's going to be able to develop a lot of players, which is fine. I love it. He connects well with players. He connects well with young players as well. And I think he will command respect. His as I said, his managerial credentials will enable him to command respect in the dressing room. I'm just sort of wondering, I want our football club to pick a particular manager that shows hunger, drive, ambition to win trophies, and player development will be the byproduct of that particular situation. I don't want a particular manager that's here for two, 3 seasons if they do last that long. Hopefully the next one does. I don't want them to just only look back on, well, look at all the player developments we did. For me, trophies. Chelsea Football Club needs to come back into the frame of winning trophies. Now, I don't expect them to come next season because of the crazy shambolic season we've had this season. So obviously that's going to take a bit of a turnaround, and then so a lot of hard work for next season. But after that, it's no more just about let's just make it to top four or let's make it to the semi-finals of domestic cups or European stages. No, it's about let's go toe to toe against some of the best ones across Europe to win trophies. Do you know what I mean? Whether it be in the Premier League, whether it be in Europe, let's win trophies. So that's my only thing. That is Mauricio Pochettino. Does he have that Spurs DNA in him? The other factor is having that Spurs background, man. I mean, you just know, you best believe, as soon as there's a first sign of some sort of adversity, a lot of fans will not appreciate it, and they will get on the back of this guy, and especially the matchup against Spurs. And if we don't end up winning those, Pochettino is going to get the heat. The only thing I'm getting excited about, I know this is a bit of a side note, if Pochettino does take over, once again, I don't have any qualms about it. Just like the Nagelsmann one, I just have some concerns about this. But I will say, if Pochettino comes in, can he manage to get Harry Kane to Chelsea Football Club? I mean, that would be fantastic. Harry Kane is, in the verge of negotiating a new contract. Apparently, this is spoken by Daniel Levy. But if somehow, Mauricio Pochettino can manage to convince Harry Kane to come to Chelsea, I think that would be fantastic. A player like Harry Kane up front will do a massive, massive difference for us. But I know it's far-fetched. I don't think it will happen. I don't think Harry Kane will ever do that. But the wildest things have happened in football. So don't disregard this one bit. Now, this is a fantastic little thread from Expected Chelsea that kind of gives you a snapshot of what it means to have either Pochettino or Nagelsmann. This is something that we can have a live stream on tomorrow, early morning UK. I think it'll be interesting to talk about this. But this is how it goes. I'm not opposed to either, but anyone who tells you Nagelsmann and Poch aren't on the same level is stupid. Took a relegation-threatened club to new heights, made their next club a top four staple, and took them to historic Champions League finishes, moved to a big ego club and couldn't cope. This is pretty much what it is for both of these managers. Nagelsmann is a master tactician with poor people skills, don't fall for PR, mostly short-term, not much long-term. Poch is more basic tactically, more of a balancer, but understands people and profiles seriously well, all about what you want. At the end of the day, player quality and balance is everything. So unless we get a balanced team, a manager won't change much. I am somewhat shocked by coverage around Nagelsmann, though, especially on Twitter. Ready to bet 80% of these accounts have never researched him. Nagelsmann is a chameleon coach, adapts to opponents on the fly, doesn't have a set identity of his own. Short-term success has long-term questions. Poch is a basic balancer, has a set of idea, gets a balanced team to fit that idea. Identity remains, not sophisticated. If you don't want to read so much on a very simple level, ask yourself who you want, Carlo Ancelotti or Thomas Tuchel. Very good comparison here, to be honest. The answer to this question will help you choose between Nagelsmann and Poch too. Not apples for apples comparison, FYI. Personally, I'm okay with both because both are top managers. Nagelsmann needs to improve his people skills. Not sure how quickly it can happen. Needs a set identity also. Poch, technical basicness is an issue. We have to accept it. Both are big risks. Anyone who picks a side and tries to undermine the other isn't worth taking seriously. I like both the managers, have many doubts about both, perhaps slightly more about Nagelsmann since his management communication is so weak. If more managers come up, we've got to look at them too. Very, very interesting. Look, this is what I've said in recent times as well. Every manager has a certain level of risk involved. Even Luis Enrique did. For all the people that want to say, you always want to... I know even he had some risk. Every manager has risks. Nagelsmann, as stated here, communication, you have to wonder the way he got shafted at Bayern Munich, the way some of their hierarchies are talking about that situation as well, like the Bayern Munich president straight off the bat when Bayern Munich lost against Man City yesterday, saying they would have still changed from Nagelsmann to Tuchel regardless. So I know it's easy to say for them now that they have Thomas Tuchel, but someone like Nagelsmann who had such a good record, leading up to that particular match against Man City in the Champions League, And also, it wasn't that bad in the Bundesliga. They were only a point behind Dortmund. You do need to wonder what has happened. A few players have fallen out. Neuer, Thomas Muller, Sadio Mane. I don't know. Managers do have fallouts with players. He's not unique to it, but there's a question mark there. With Pochettino, similarly, the case is that, not in regards to falling out with players, but, tactically, can he win the big ones? We saw what happened, was it last season or the season before? Might have been, it was last season, where PSG were on top 95% of the time. And right at the end, Real Madrid pipped them. It's things like that. And the fallout after that was tremendous in PSG. So can Pochettino win the big ones? And that's what it all matters. That's what it all comes down to. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Let me know how you feel about Pochettino, Nagelsmann, especially the Pochettino situation. How are you feeling about that? Is it just about player development for you? Is it just about player management for you? Or is it about winning trophies? That's the first goal. And then everything else is literally a byproduct, in my opinion. While Julian Nagelsmann remains in the leading candidate to become Chelsea's new coach since March, talks with Luis Enrique are in standby and also not expected to advance. After meeting in London, Chelsea have cooled their interest in Luis Enrique, as Matt Law has called. So, look, I don't expect anything going for Luis Enrique anymore. I think this is over. I would have loved to see him, but it is what it is. We move on. No point in dwelling around this particular situation. It'll be interesting to see where Luis Enrique goes next up. Todd Bowley was in Munich to follow City game. The relationship between Chelsea and Bayern is very good. Barry will join Thomas Tuchel. Sources feel there would be no issues to agree on compensation for Nagelsmann, but it's up to Chelsea. No final decision made yet. Look, I think it is going towards Nagelsmann. All of these talks, I feel like, come on, just cut the crap. Let's just get Nagelsmann. You want Nagelsmann. I think the fans want Nagelsmann as well. Yes, there has to be a compensation paid for Nagelsmann, but I think we can do something about that anyway. Obviously, Anthony Barry now, I think the word is he has got that move to Bayern Munich. It just needs that official statement. I think there's a compensation of 1 million that Bayern Munich will pay to us at Chelsea Football Club. And I'm sure if we want to do a deal with Nagelsmann, that can be done too. And look at this. I put out a poll on Twitter 5 hours ago stating, what's your preference, Chelsea fans? 84% wanting Nagelsmann, 15% wanting Pochettino. So after 3,200 votes, that's a lot of votes. So Chelsea fans, majority, want Nagelsmann now. So let's just get this done. Let's get this done and let's work towards fixing for next season. It's very, very important. Agreement in place between Chelsea and FC Bayern for Anthony Barry, who's going to rejoin Thomas Tuchel's coaching staff as expected. So the word is that it is done. Compensation agreement close to 1 million, as these two people have reported. So look, if we do want to get something done with Bayern Munich, I don't think that should be a problem. We'll come to an agreement to get that compensation paid for Nagelsmann. So look, ladies and gentlemen, that's the latest in all the news that's been going around. Let me know how you feel, especially about the Pochettino stuff. Nagelsmann is the clear favorite, but seems like there's some conversations that's happening with Pochettino. And yeah, Anthony Barry will be joining Thomas Tuchel in Bayern Munich. So good luck to him. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see ya.